Well, today we're going to make savory scones. To begin with, I'm going to turn the oven on, 400, and it will heat while we continue with the process. I have pre-measured 2 cups of all-purpose flour, and to this I'm going to add all of the dry ingredients. I'm going to start with 4 teaspoons of baking powder and a half a teaspoon of soda. The soda is going in because I'm using buttermilk, and if you use buttermilk or vinegar or such, you need the soda. This is a half a teaspoon of salt and 2 teaspoons of sugar. Sugar enhances the tenderness of the scone and also helps with the leavening, helps the biscuits to rise. And now today, because this is a savory scone, we're going to add a little bit of garlic powder. This is not quite a teaspoon. And I am going to put in a teaspoon of fresh crushed rosemary from my garden. I wasn't sure if I would use more. I think we're going to just do this amount today. Then I'm going to toss this so that all of the dry ingredients become well blended before I add the cheese. And I will toss again. And I have Swiss and Gruyere, cheddar, and Monterey Jack grated. Tossing that in. Next, I am going to add 3 tablespoons of refined coconut oil. If I'm making a biscuit that's going to have honey or jam on it, I would use virgin coconut oil because it has the flavor of coconut and it's just a gentle enhancement to the biscuits. And now 6 tablespoons of butter. And I will work this in with my fork. You can use a food processor. This is just the old way that my mother taught me, and it works really well for me. And almost ready to add the buttermilk. For the buttermilk now, and we're going to use 2/3 of a cup. And I don't pour it all in at once because sometimes it may not need quite that much. This is going to need all. Just work that around until you can form it in a ball to roll it out and cut. This kind of scone goes well with perhaps a crustless spinach and egg quiche. This is what I served it with the other day when I had a tea for several women, and it went over very well. You can add butter when you open a warm scone, and this is just about ready to roll out. Flour the counter, which I wiped off very well before we began this process. Now I'm going to spread just a little bit of flour on here, just enough to lightly roll out the dough. We'll work just a little bit of that flour in before we roll it out, but not too much. Spread that flour again just a little bit more. And about 3/4 of an inch thick. You can make it any thickness, you just would have to adjust your time. And I'm going to use a heart-shaped cutter and put it on a cookie sheet that has parchment paper lining the bottom. And then we'll make some flowers just for some variety. shapes. Everybody likes different shapes. It makes them fun. And then just plain round. Then you can roll the dough back out and finish cutting out more shapes. And our oven is ready. And we'll start this at 10 minutes and check. And they may be ready, they may not. We'll check for their brownness and then continue from there. And the scones are out and ready to eat.
St. Fiacre's Farm.
Fiacre.
Fiacre?
Fiacre.
Thanks for joining us on the farm.